Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the most traditional of Rolex Day-Dates, the Day-Date 36mm. You can see and you can purchase this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date reference 118235 in 18-karat Everose gold on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this red gold Rolex Day-Date. Now, Rolex makes a very traditional Day-Date. Classically, it would be colored gold, fluted bezel, president bracelet, 36mm. While we loved the Day-Date 2, we've loved the Day-Date 40, the many variations we've seen on the watch with domed bezels, with white metals, with oyster bracelets or straps. This is about as traditional as it gets, with just one exception, and that's the rose gold. Often rare in the world of the Day-Date. For a long period, the only way to get rose gold on your Day-Date was to buy the Tri-Door model, which featured a triple play of white, yellow, and rose gold down its center links. Now, the thing about this watch here is that it represents the resurgence of rose gold, as from the early 70s through the early 2000s, there was no rose gold in the Day-Date lineup. So making up for lost time is this current generation Day-Date 36 in Everose. And if you're going to come late to the party, bring the best favor. Everose is Rolex's own alloy, which features a higher percentage of copper to make it redder and a higher percentage of platinum to prevent oxidation and fade. So the fit is what you need to know about, because fit comes first. We'll discuss Everose and mechanical specification in a moment. How does it feel on my 16cm circumference wrist? Well, 36mm across the round of the case from 9 to 3, not including the crown, means it wears quite easily. The watch is compact. It's also slim, 12.2mm thick. You can see that the case flank is rounded, the bezel is generally sloped, and the watch, for the most part, can be said to fit under any dress cuff or sleeve, even exotic cuffs. French cuffs, you should be fine. The watch looks more squat and tall than it is, simply because its proportions, top to bottom and side to side, are rather compact. Now, what are its proportions? Well, I'm going to measure it with the end links of the bracelet included, because if you wanted your Day-Date on a strap, you would have bought the model on a strap. I can't see anyone throwing this on a NATO. So we're going to measure it lug to lug, link to link, and the distance across the wrist is 47, which means that even a wrist, in my estimation, as small as 13 centimeters in circumference, is going to wear this one with beautiful proportion, style, and physical security. Now, the thing about contemporary Rolex full gold case bracelet clasp combinations is that they are so solid and robust, with the solid center links, the solid end links, the milled out clasp, that today's full gold Rolex feels the same in the hand as yesterday's full platinum Rolex in the era of hollow links and spindly clasps. So you can see the President bracelet, the watch always nicknamed the President because of its esteemed past ownership, never was called the President. The bracelet was called the President, and it still is. It combines the small link souplesse of the Jubilee with the 3-link durability and feeling of heft in the hand that you get with the Oyster bracelets on the sports watches, so it's the best of both worlds. It also has an elegance about it because none of the individual links are too burly or big. There's polish on the shoulders, the flanks are satin, and the center is of high polish for contrast. You can see on the underside plenty of gaps between the links to aerate the wrist on a hot day, as well as a little bit of a rounded profile at the edge of each individual link to avoid grabbing and pinching skin and hair. Now you can see the clasp fully finished inside, still with the crown clasp design, which denotes the partition point only by the 5-point Rolex coronet. Now, it is an articulated component that now acts as a switch to unlock the clasp rather than simply being a lever by which you jam it up. This has been refined like everything else on the watch. Rolex never stands still. So you have an upscale President, and you have a beautifully revitalized profile for the 36. The combination of the 36 and the red gold is a match made in heaven. Horological heaven, that is. I'm surprised why it took Rolex so long to return rose gold to the Day-Date line. You can see the watch features handsome and simple lines. No super case here. The lugs taper generously. They're pared down and elegant. I would say the watch has more in common, if you look at its case profile and lug shape, with the original Yachtmaster, the Yachtmaster 1, and the Daytona. There's not a whole lot of GMT or current generation sub in this case. It's a throwback in the best sense. The bezel is remarkably crisp. This watch has never been refinished, and you can see that the dial is spectacular. It is a sunburst that Rolex describes, their word, not mine, as a chocolate sunburst, and it fits. It's exactly that. It's delicious and delectable in every sense. The graining is deep, radially arrayed, and tremendously reactive, whether in soft light or direct. All of the indices in the hands at center for hours and minutes are luminescent, so while they are red gold to match the bezel in the case, they are also fully lumed, so the watch is quite practical for all-around use. Gilt style printing is beautifully subtle against the chocolate of the dial. You can see it, but it doesn't assert itself, meaning this is one of the few Rolex watches you can look at without feeling like you're reading a novel in the process. Pride of place goes to the day and the date. There's a double quickset functionality, so you can rapidly cycle both to correct should they run down. Now, let's talk about what's underneath the hood. In this case, the beautifully polished and satin finished solid gold caseback. It is a Rolex caliber 3155, 48 hours power reserve, automatic winding, protected to 100 meters for versatility. It is a COSC Swiss chronometer, certified by the COSC, and then cased up by Rolex, retested not just to meet the COSC standard of -4 +6 per day or better, but to meet Rolex's internal standard of -2 +2 per day, the superlative chronometer standard. It features a full balance bridge anchored on both sides of the balance wheel by a screw with a free-sprung index, the two features combining to make the watch very shock resistant. It also features a Breguet overcoil hairspring in parachrome blue alloy. The two features combined allowing the watch to be very accurate in any position with respect to gravity, so concentric beating of the hairspring. That's effectively the original purpose of the tourbillon, the hairspring overcoil design being more suitable for a wristwatch application. The parachrome blue alloy making the watch robustly anti-magnetic. Of course, alongside the double quickset, you have hacking seconds, so you pull the crown to extremity, you stop the balance. Now you can synchronize and keep your presidential appointments on track. You can see and you can purchase this gorgeous Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date 36 in full Everose red gold on our website.